So today's task is all about understanding your personal values, and to do this we're going to draw ourselves an iceberg. We're going to liken ourselves to an iceberg, and here's one I prepared earlier. That's it, that's my iceberg. It's a bit rubbish, I admit, but there's no prizes for art on this challenge. Maybe one for another day. I certainly wouldn't win. Anyway, I digress. You need to think of yourself as an iceberg. Why an iceberg? Because an iceberg is actually a massive object floating on the sea, the oceans, of which we only see about 10% above the ocean surface. So this is the sea, this is the ocean level, and this is what we see of the iceberg. The rest of that iceberg is below the waterline, which is a description of you. So I think you might have remembered, hopefully, that I was talking about Facebook in an earlier post. I think it was one of the introductions. I was talking about Facebook being a highlights reel of people's lives, and it's true. That is absolutely true, but so are you in everyday life as well. Not necessarily a highlights reel, but you are a carefully selected, unconsciously selected manifestation of everything you choose to present. So the way you dress, the way you conduct yourself, the way you have your hair says something about you. However, it does not by any stretch of the imagination tell the whole story. Okay, so it's like people who make judgments about people who don't look their best on a particular day. You don't know what they're doing on that day. They might be going to the tip, they might be just having a down day and that's their preferred way of clothing, but the rest of the time they're actually a brain surgeon in a hospital. You just never know what's going on. So it's the whole adage about sheep and wolves clothing, or books and covers and all the rest of it. So what's the point of this? The point is that the behaviours you display are the ones that people see. So that's the bit of the iceberg that's above the waterline. This bit here is the behaviours you display in everyday life. That's what people see. The rest of you, the bit that makes you you, is below the waterline. That's probably more the real you than the behaviours you display, because behaviours are learnt. What makes you the real you is a product of all sorts of other complex things going on in your brain and your experiences, etc. So as you get further down the iceberg even, you get closer to who the real you is. And right at the bottom of your iceberg is your core values, who you are as a person, what makes you tick, and what holds you dear, what you hold dear rather. So I know, for example, that right at the bottom of my iceberg is truth and integrity and loyalty. They are absolute, my human core values of what I hold really dear to me. And I know I get very upset if those values are conflicted. My behaviour, on the other hand, when I feel that my values are being conflicted, are potentially not what you might expect. So I get upset, or I get angry, get frustrated, I verbalise things in a different way. I don't say my values of truth, integrity and loyalty are being compromised, because that's just not how it generally works. So what I invite you to do is draw yourself and your own iceberg, and I want you to think about the behaviours you display, the things that people see, and you label them in your iceberg above the waterline. So just write descriptors in this bit about what people see every single day about you and your behaviours. This bit is the bits that people see according to how well they know you. So very few people, if any at all, will know these bits right at the bottom. Probably only you. Your partner or someone that's very close to you will probably see something along the levels of this level. But your work colleagues, close work colleagues, might see something here, and you get the idea. So what I want you to do is just write down all the things as they appear in that order on that iceberg, and that will give you a picture of what your behaviours and your values tell you about you. And it will be interesting to see if there's any conflict between your values and your behaviour.